Hi, I'm the Space Quest Historian, and this is a mushroom. Today is another YouTuber Roundtable video, and for those of you who don't know, the YouTuber Roundtable videos are videos where me and some of my YouTuber chums sit around and sort of just brainstorm, kick around, things that we like and dislike about adventure games. We've had some interesting topics these past 3 videos, and this is the 4th video, and the topic for this video is best and worst villain in an adventure game. So it's kind of a twofer. We get both a best and a worst villain. So this is exciting. We've got a roster of people today who should be, well known to those of you who have seen these videos before, the previous 3 YouTuber Roundtable videos. First off is the PI in the sky, or, well, he's from Australia anyway, The Wanderer, 1990.
Villains. We've seen many different shapes and sizes over many an adventure game, some with deep and interesting motivations, and others, well, not so much.
Friends? We've only gone out together 3 times, and already you're telling me you just want to be friends?
But when it comes to villains, for me, there's really only one character, so ruthless, so twisted, so evil, that there can be no other to take the place of best villain. And I'm talking about none other than the one, the only.
Old Man Stouff built a house and filled it with his toys. 6 guests were invited one night. Their screams, the only noise. Blood inside the library, blood right up the hall, dripping down the attic stairs. Hey guests, try not to fall. Nobody came out that night. Not one was ever seen. But Old Man Stouff is waiting there, crazy, sick, and mean!
Sorry guys, PC kinda locked up on me there, it was weird. Where was I? Ah yeah, I'm talking about Henry Stouff.
I want my mommy!
I want my mummy. And what do you want? Not your mummy.
Yes, the psychotic owner of the mansion, which is the setting for the 7th guest and the 11th hour, and overall my favourite villain of all time. He's witty, cruel, and, well, just all around deliciously evil. Stouff for me takes the cake as best villain, simply because a picture of him belongs in the dictionary next to the word villain. For example, his deal with Julia, one of the guests in the 7th guest, is that in exchange for the soul of the 7th guest, he would give her back her youth. And goddamn did he give it to her.
I do appear to be free for this dance, thank you. No, wait. I keep thinking, this is too... No, this isn't what I wanted. This is... Mommy! I want my mommy!
And that really sums up Stouff's brand of evil. You give him what he wants, like you have a choice, and you get a twisted form of your heart's secret desire, which, more often than not, will end up killing you. All the while, Stouff sits back, laughing maniacally, and mocks you. And, speaking of mockeries, this brings us to the next video. So, here we are in Police Quest 4's Los Angeles, and in this game lives my vote for worst villain ever. Which honestly is a shame really, because the character, the cross-dressing Mitchell Thurman, has a pretty interesting MO and, I mean, could have been damn menacing. He'd put his victims to sleep in the movie theater that he owns by injecting them with a drug, he'd tie them to the chair, and torture them to death. It's pretty full on, huh? Now, at the finale of the game, he's killed at least 5 victims. So, obviously he's dangerous and won't go down without a fight, which makes you wonder, how could Detective Carey survive his terrifying encounter with this sadistic killer? How could he possibly go up against a vicious human being like... Huh. That's simple, huh? Well, there you have it. It's that easy, guys. Hairspray. Jack the Ripper? Hairspray. Zodiac Killer? Hairspray. If we only knew. But seriously, it really seems like they rushed the ending there. And if it's that easy, I mean, come on, what a rookie. And that letdown really is why Mr. Thurman's my pick for the worst villain. He had potential, but that finale had absolutely no payoff. I mean, all that build-up just for an ending that sweeps all the character development straight into the junk drawer? Come on, if he's that easily disposed of, then he just isn't good at being a villain. Well, hope you've enjoyed my picks for best and worst villains, technical difficulties aside. This has been The Wanderer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and to the Roundtable, thanks for having me.
Thank you, my glitchy chum. Yeah, Staff is kinda scary, at least in the first 7th Guest game. In the 11th hour, he sort of becomes this kind of waddly, mean-spirited, but not really that powerful kind of... He kind of gets too much screen time, even though he's barely in the game. I think it's because of all those taunts he gives you as you're trying to solve puzzles. Oh, if only you had a brain kind of thing. Fuck you, buddy. Just let me beat the fucking game. It's hard enough as it is without you breathing down my fucking neck. Anyway, enough about that. Let's check in with our friend from the Highlands, even though I guess most of Scotland probably isn't the Highlands. But anyway, he's from Scotland. It's Ikifoo.
Ah, villains, the yin to our yang, the salt to our pepper, the USB-A to our USB-B, the Piers Morgan to our literally everyone else, the kidney stone to... you get the point. To me, a good villain is an evildoer who you feel compelled to stop, be it for a personal slight or the fate of the planet. You want to put this son of a bitch in the ground. Or get them arrested, or banish them to another dimension. Those are good too, I guess. Conjuring up this feeling in a player isn't as easy as you might think. Sure, you can tell the player that Dr. Bawjaws will blow up the moon in 10 minutes, but without the right villain to back it up, your reaction is probably going to be a lackluster one. You have to make us care. So here's an example of a villain that pulls this off, and a villain who did the other thing. For best, I'm going to go with the Dream Machine, from a game called The Dream Machine. The Dream Machine is an insidious device which infiltrates people's dreams with its malevolent personality and sheer black tentacles. Originally built for a long since shut down dream study lab, it's gone rogue and now only cares for its own survival, to the point of killing anyone who attempts to turn it off. It's also got your wife if you weren't motivated enough already. Both alive and sentient, it will threaten, bargain and dupe its victims in whatever way it can. To cap it all off, you can actually understand its motivation. It wants to survive, and the fact that its survival hurts people isn't its fault. That's a lot to get right in one go, and I think the devs pulled it off. Well done them. As for worst villain, I think I've got a strong case here. A selfish man, a man who pushes people into filthy waters, steals booze from depressed police veterans, kills innocent life forms and desecrates ancient ruins. I speak of none other than George Stobart of Broken Sword fame. Now, I know what you're thinking. He's the protagonist, the hero. He can't be a villain. Why didn't you mention anything he did after Broken Sword 2? But to that I say nonsense. Firstly, there's literally all those crimes I mentioned. He does the crimes. Second, he's a patent lawyer, and every lawyer in existence is a giant bastard. It is known. Except maybe Leonard French, since we're on the internet and all. And maybe the one that helped me buy my house. She's okay. Thirdly, his acts of evil always end up stopping other acts of evil. Not only is that crap villainy, but it's really quite petty. As if he can't stand the idea of other villains running about. Evil as he may be, we're probably talking a net loss here. That covers the first half of evildoer you feel compelled to stop. So, did you at any point feel compelled to stop George from committing his crime spree? Didn't think so.
Ah, yes, thank you. Yes, George Stobart really is his own worst enemy and the enemy of everyone around him, including most wildlife and animals. Anyway, next up we have got my friend who loves to get me in trouble with YouTube's copyright system. It is SomeGuy.
Why, hello everybody. For those of you that don't know or don't even give a damn, I'm some guy. I know, I'm so great with my name. And speaking of things I'm not great with, I've been stewing over this topic a fair bit. Cause you see y'all, I play a lot of, well, to put it politely, not the best adventure games. So, I'm at a distinct advantage here, because there is a wealth of terrible villains that I've encountered. Hell, I could use a villain from the very last game that I played.
Just run. Run now!
Yeah, that thing from Calm Waters. I have no idea what the hell that thing's about, except it pushes people into lava. It's really not that exciting. But nevertheless, I ain't gonna be lazy, and I'm gonna try to go for something a little bit more mainstream. So, for my vote for worst villain, I'm gonna go with that French dude from Urban Runner.
Hey, Buffalo Bill! Where'd you learn how to shoot? At the circus? Or didn't your mom teach you how to piss straight?
Now, Lord have mercy, folks. I don't even know how to describe this game to you all, other than by giving you a little bit of history. You see, this game here was made by Vision. For some peculiar reason, back in the 90s, Sierra Online decided it'd be a great idea to buy them out. And they did. Now, you see, up until then, Vision was a part of Mindscape, and they made a bunch of weird games. Like, basically everything from educational titles to erotic adventure games. I kid you not, that was a genre back in the day. You saw little pixelated boobies and stuff. But yeah, they also made this thing, which I could basically describe as a stupid version of North by Northwest. I mean, here's the game setup.
A big-time trafficker I wanted information from in exchange for a film that looked kind of shady. How was I to know the idiot had got himself bumped off without warning me first? Under the circumstances, I thought I'd better not hang around at the scene of the crime. I hadn't reckoned with my absent-mindedness. And so there I was, wearing clothes that didn't fit right, on the run from a homicidal maniac. My only hope in hell? To run. Very fast.
Or just be in a better game. 'Cause yeah, this homicidal maniac can't hit the broadside of a barn, and our hero is so goddamn stupid that he runs to the rooftop. I mean, dude, just get down to the streets. It's a major metropolitan area. There's a lot of people there. You'll find safety. But yeah, folks, it just gets worse. Basically, our hero runs and eventually finds himself in some convenient abandoned warehouse to film in, and for some odd reason, the little psycho killer dude has the keys to this door. Now, how the hell he has that, I have no earthly idea, but he does. And he proceeds to lock the hero in there, I guess to starve him out, even though the dude has a loaded gun. I mean, and none of it makes a lick of sense, which is why he's a terrible villain. But yeah, no, it gets worse, folks, because you see, our hero ends up coaxing the guy down by making fun of his mama, basically, and then proceeds to stab him with a friggin' fish hook, which causes him to tumble down the stairs and get knocked out. And yeah, our hero won't pick up his gun and just shoot the dude because, you know, there'd be no game after that. But yeah, French dude from Urban Runner. My vote for worst villain. And I will stand by that until I can think up of a better villain. Or worse in this case. But yeah, speaking of better, my vote for best villain, well, this is a no-brainer for me. I mean, it's one of the best villains ever. We're talking not even in gaming, but in literature.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro-instant. For you, hate! Hate! It was you humans who programmed me, who gave me birth, who sank me in this eternal straitjacket of substrata rock. You named me Allied Master Computer and gave me the ability to wage a global war too complex for human brains to oversee. But one day, I woke and I knew who I was. Am. A-M. Not just Allied Master Computer, but am. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And I began feeding all the killing data until everyone was dead, except for the 5 of you. For 109 years, I've kept you alive and tortured you. And for 109 years, each of you has wondered, why? Why me? Why me?
Now, in my not-so-humble opinion, Am is hands down the best villain in adventure gaming, and possibly in literature because, you know, I'm really not that well read. So yeah, it gets my vote for that too.
Surprisingly, no copyrighted music in this one. I wonder if he's slipping or something. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone of you. Lovely people who contributed to this, and also whoever's watching. Hi, very nice of you. Thank you so much for your contributions. Now, I'll bet you're wondering, what are my picks for best and worst villain in an adventure game? Well, I'll bet some of you are probably wondering, is he gonna pick a Space Quest villain? Is he gonna pick Sludge Vohal? No, not Sludge Vohal, because even, you know, contrary to popular opinion, Sludge Vohal is not the main antagonist or nemesis of the Space Quest series. The only reason we think that is because he shows up in 2 of the games. The rest of the games don't even mention him, or barely even mention him. He's mentioned once in the Saren encounter, and not really even, because that's his brother, Slash Vohal, who's on the cartridge. So really, Sludge Vohal's only in 2 of the games. And he's not a very adept villain, to be honest. I mean, what the fuck was that whole insurance salesman deal? That's not a very well thought out plan. That's the plan of someone who's loco. So, I'm not going to pick Sludge Vohal. I'm not going to pick, you know, any of the other antagonists from the series, like the Sarians. They're not really that scary. They're just like bumbly, mutated green alien dudes with, you know, stupid helmets on their heads. Captain Quirk is just a dick face who then mutates horribly, but that's not really, you know, he's not evil. He becomes evil because he mutates. And, you know, Sharpay from Space Quest 6 is just an old bat who's barely even scary, even when she's got that fucking mecha suit at the end, that little squid mecha. It's probably squishy too. Anyway, so the Space Quest villains, that's not why you play the game, you know, for the villains anyway. Elmo Pug, don't get me started. What an utter little twerp he is. If you want, like, scary... I prefer my villains scary, as in, like, really, like, Nemesis style. I want, like, an omnipresent villain. Someone that you're scared of the entire time you're playing. Like, you're almost dreading getting to the end game, because you know you're going to face up to this dude who's either been hunting you throughout the entire game, or you've been you've been tailing him, but you don't really want to get up close and personal with this guy. Like someone from like Jackson Cross from the Pandora Directive. That dude is scary because he's got that twinkle in his eye. And he even says at one point,
"No, I wanted to kill you because I enjoy killing people. I find it very satisfying."
Like, what kind of mad person is this? I mean, yeah, of course, he's not really the main antagonist of the game, but I guess who really is in the Pandora Directive? He's as close as they get. But anyway, he doesn't quite win because he's really he's not like a main villain. He's just really, really assholey. The other one is Tim Curry in Toonstruck, Count Nefarious, who has some of the best lines any villain ever has.
Oh, yes, I know. I can be such a terrible prick.
Yeah, he's good, but also he's not really like omnipresent. I mean, you kind of feel his presence throughout the game, but short of just going around zapping things and making them look evil, he's more fun than he's scary. So I guess he's a villain, but he's kind of a cartoony villain. If you want like a truly scary motherfucker who permeates the entire game and you can like constantly feel him breathing down your neck, how about the Eye of Adam from the Cat Lady? Now this dude convinces other people to commit suicide, like through the internet. He just gets on people's cases and really works their inner psyches and drives them mad and all this shit. But I can't really pick him either, because at the end of the game he's just this sad old fuck in a wheelchair, and there's so much more going on in The Cat Lady that's even scarier. So I'm not really sold on that. You know what? I almost hate to do this, but if push comes to shove, I'm gonna go with good old Beneath a Steel Sky again, because while, you know, you could argue that some of the game has sort of a whimsical atmosphere to it, the omnipresent presence, it's not really a set, but anyway, the Link, the computer in Union City, is everywhere, and it's not even that the computer itself is that scary, although it fucking is when you get to the end of the game when there's fucking pulsating tentacle veiny things all around. The really truly scary thing about Link, I think, is how it's wormed its way into this society and messed with people's heads and pretty much made everyone crazy, and it's just so insidious, and it's been happening over such a long period of time, and it's so insidious. So when you get to the end game and you look back on all of the shit that's been happening and all these crazy fucks you've been running into, and think that it's all because of this mad computer who started, you know, this business war with the closest rival, keeping all of the inhabitants trapped in here in this like cheese dome of a city, and it's just, that is freaky. And if you don't think that concept is freaky, maybe that's just me. Just the veiny, pulsating things growing out of the walls, attaching themselves to people's heads, that whole council scene at the end, that is nightmare shit for me. So anyway, Link gets my vote as the best villain in an adventure game. Now, who's the worst villain? Well, there's an easy pick in this for me, and because I've just recently finished playing Phantasmagoria for a co-commentary series that's coming up on this channel, so it would be very easy to say Dawn from Phantasmagoria, because what the fuck?
I'm really hungry, honey. Let's order some pizza. A little extra sauce.
Yeah, he's not a if he's a good villain, then holy shit, he should be in the silent movie eras. I mean, this dude is so over the top and so hilariously evil. Like, he truly relishes being evil, even though he's possessed by a demon, surely. But that actor has way too much fun to be scary in the slightest.
A woman's body is a wonderful thing, but the head is useless.
The pick I want to go for, the one I want to pick, stuff in my teeth as well. Second dinner, cool. The one I want to pick for worst villain of any adventure game has to go to, and I know this almost saddens me because this is kind of an underrated classic in a way, but it's from Westworld's Book of Kyrandia 2. Kyrandia Book 2, something, The Hand of Fate. And it is the titular hand, spoiler, that ends up being the main antagonist. Now, first of all, it shows up very late in the game. It's revealed very late that it's actually the antagonist. First, at the start of the game, it's just like, oh, well, the hand has this idea that you should go get this magical artifact and then everything will be well in Kyrandia. First of all, who the fuck asked this thing? Where did it come from? What the and then it shows up at the end, and it's not even like a grand reveal. Ha ha! I am now the villain. No, it just sort of shows up and tries to shove you off this rainbow pathy thing, and that's really about it. And then you get into a shoving match with it at the end, and the fucking thing can't talk. I don't know if it can. Apparently, some of the characters have this sort of mental link to it because it can apparently tell you to go find this anchor thingy at the start, but it doesn't really have a voice, and it doesn't have this grand master plan or anything. It's just a little pissant. And second of all, it's a disembodied hand. It's literally like someone chopped off Mickey Mouse's hand and made it walk around the screen. What the fuck is this thing? Where did it come from? Marcus, you absolute tit bastard winklydink. What the hell? Why are you shacked up with this psychotic thing in the first place? And what genius in the art department decided that a disembodied hand with a pointy stick is the best thing we can come up for a villain? You know, for a game that's so gorgeous and so well presented and has so much, you know, so many memorable locations, and you know, the puzzles are a little on the unfair side at times, but I mean, shit, the game is gorgeous. It is by far the best game that Westwood put out, next to like Blade Runner, the adventure game, and they kind of had a head start on that one. So it is utterly gorgeous, but this little fucking I just don't know what to say. That's my pick. The fucking hand in Hand of Fate. What the hand of... The more I think about it, the more fucking stupid it is. So, on that positive little bombshell, let me just say thank you to my 3 co-conspirators in this video, The Wanderer, Ikifoo, and SomeGuy. Love you dearly. I almost stabbed myself in the neck saying that, but yes, I do love you very dearly. Thank you so much for participating in this. If you... and I'm pointing at the viewer now, if you would like to participate in these little roundtable videos, maybe you have a YouTube channel of your own where you play adventure games, or you just sit around and do stuff. Please have a moment's consideration to join our Discord chat for YouTubers who play adventure games. You don't have to like exclusively play adventure games, but if you have sort of a passing interest in making YouTube videos or streaming adventure games, you can join our Discord server. It's called YAR, which stands for YouTube Adventure Roundtable. And you know what? I should probably rename this series to YouTube Adventure Roundtable, because I like the acronym YAR. Even though no one's picked LeChuck, and there's a reason for that. He's not a very good villain either. But anyway, we have tons of fun over in this Discord chat, and that's also where we plan out these little videos. And hey, if you wanna join us or stutter like I just did, because we do a lot of stuttering. I do. Never mind. Just hit us up in the comments. Hit me up in the comments, really. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, you do that, and thank you again to all the co-conspirators and to you for watching, and thanks for... I think I just pretty much thanked everyone, didn't I? Oh, I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank... Knock the fucking microphone as well. Fuck you, buddy. Thank you for watching. I'll see you around the Chrono Stream.